Hello, Steeler Nation, and welcome to the latest episode of your Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. I'm Pittsburgh Owen, your voice from across the pond, speaking to you live here in the UK. So, guys, I wanted to, in this video, just talk a few bits of general Steelers news, some things that are really, in Steeler Nation's minds at this moment in time. And it would be remiss of me not to, first of all, mention the news that came out on Monday evening as regards Dwayne Haskins. Now, Dwayne Haskins obviously died in a very tragic circumstances way back in April. And, whatever comes out now, it doesn't make what happened to Dwayne any less tragic and any less sad. The fact the guy was 24 years old, he had all his life in front of him. That's the key things that we must always, always keep in the forefront of our mind at all times. And the lessons that it teaches us that life is way too short. Obviously, after the incident, there were a lot of unanswered questions as to why Dwayne was where he was, why he did what he did. Reports of an unnamed female in the car with him. Questions about why he didn't just use his cell phone to call for help. These are all questions that have bothered Steeler Nation, that have bothered me, to wonder why he was in the situation that he was. Um, you know, we knew that eventually more would come out. We knew that the Florida Highway Patrol and that the medical examiners would release their reports and that more information would break as regards Dwayne Haskins. So Monday night, the following came out, and this is taken from ESPN, which took their report from the medical examiner. According to toxicology report, 2 separate samples taken from Haskins' body had alcohol levels at 0.20 and 0.24, both of which are above the legal limit in Florida of 0.08. According to the report, Haskins also tested positive for ketamine and norketamine, drugs that are used by medical professionals as anesthetics, but that have also been known to be used recreationally. In addition to that, it was also stated as well by investigators who are looking into what happened to quarterback Dwayne Haskins. Haskins, 24, was in Florida that weekend to train with the Pittsburgh Steelers teammates. According to the investigation report, a Steelers official told the medical examiner's office that the night before his death, Haskins went to dinner with a cousin or friend whose name was Joey, and then later to a nightclub, possibly in Miami. They drank heavily, and at some point they got into a fight, separating, the report states. So these facts that have now emerged from Florida, from the I think it's Brownwood County medical examiner, clear up a little bit behind why what happened may well have happened. That Dwayne Haskins was possibly still under the influence of alcohol and some form of drugs, and this may have impaired his actions on the day of his tragic passing. But let's get one thing straight. No matter what this tells us, no matter what this report may make you think as regards Dwayne Haskins, let's hold on to this fact. The fact that a 24-year-old was tragically killed, no matter what circumstances it was, is exceptionally sad and exceptionally tragic. And we must always hold in the forefront of our mind the effect this has had on his wife and his family and keep them in the forefront of our mind. So that was the first bit. I'm sorry to start a bit of a downer, Steeler Nation, as regards to the whole Pittsburgh Steelers news. Second piece of news that I want to talk about today was Minkah Fitzpatrick. Pittsburgh Steelers have said that they are currently in no rush to firm up a deal for Minkah Fitzpatrick. It was announced at the end of last season that the Steelers will be picking up Minkah Fitzpatrick's fifth-year option, whereas they didn't pick up Terrell Edmunds' fifth-year option. Fitzpatrick, who is one of the best safeties in the NFL, bar none, despite what ratings may say and rankings may say, put out by the NFL, NFL Network, ESPN, whoever. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a fantastic player. His tackling is ferocious. His ball hawking ability is second to none. He is just an all-round quality player, as well as being a leader for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the secondary. Now, at this moment in time, there is no strong move to push Minkah Fitzpatrick's contract forward. This also may be something to do with the fact the Pittsburgh Steelers have yet to appoint a new general manager. Obviously, the second round of interviews have just been concluded, and it is now rumored, obviously, after that second round of interviews, that there will be an announcement about an appointment very shortly. The favourites still remain, obviously, Brandon Hunt and Omar Khan. But back to Minkah. It's reported by Jeremy Fowler of ESPN that the likelihood is that the Minkah Fitzpatrick contract situation may well follow a very similar pattern to the TJ Watt contract situation from last summer. Now, those of you who remember that TJ still turned up for all OTAs, for mandatory minicamp, for training camp, and although he did not take part in all activities and was not always wearing pads for the physical side of things, he did train every single day with his teammates. It was more a hold in than a hold out. You know, I think that once the Steelers go to Latrobe in July, and I think this training camp really ramps up, that's when we'll see the Steelers really focus in on firming up a new contract for Minkah Fitzpatrick. If you remember that TJ Watt only signed his contract 3 days before the Steelers opened the regular season. So it was actually only 3 days before the actual season started that we signed up TJ Watt to his new deal. So at this moment in time, there is obviously no need to panic as regards Minkah Fitzpatrick and his contract. What is Minkah's current worth? Well, the experts, the analysts out there project that Minkah's current market value is somewhere in the region of 61 million over 4 years, with an average annual salary of roughly around about 15.3 million. This is according to Spotrac. That contract would make him one of the highest paid safeties in the NFL, along with Jamal Adams, Harrison Smith, Justin Simmons, and Buda Baker. Certainly players that he is well and truly up there with in terms of his stats and in terms of his production on the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would certainly hope that Minkah Fitzpatrick, who has been an All-Pro, has obviously led the Steelers last year in tackles. Made a career high 124 tackles last season. Has more than proved his worth, and I think has really shown that the Pittsburgh Steelers really need to sign this guy to a long-term contract, get him under contract for as long as possible, especially given the uncertainty around that other safety spot, given that Terrell Edmonds is only signed to a 1-year contract, as is DeMonte Kazee. After that, obviously, you've got Trey Norwood, who is obviously a development prospect, and Miles Killebrew, who is more of a special teams player. So we obviously must be looking out, I think, around July time for something to break as regards Minkah Fitzpatrick's contract. But I certainly wouldn't be panicking yet, Steeler Nation. I think that whoever the new GM is, Art Rooney II will certainly be pushing him along with Mike Tomlin to get that deal done. After this, obviously, the time this video has been released here on a Tuesday night, the first day of OTAs will have concluded, which is organized team activities, which are not mandatory, but are kind of mandatory. It is kind of expected that players turn up for these, whilst other teams have already announced that their players, some key players for them, will not be turning up, like Deebo Samuel for the 49ers and Baker Mayfield at the Browns, which is obviously to be expected, I think, given the way the Browns have treated him. The big questions that we were hoping to have had answered by the point this video goes out, obviously, is was Tuitt there and was DJ there? I'll know about more of that on the Syndicate later in the week. So this video, I just wanted to sort of tie up some few loose knots, some few bits of information about the Steelers. Obviously talk about Dwayne Haskins, God rest his soul, and to talk about Minkah Fitzpatrick and his contract situation as well. Thanks for listening, guys. And remember, if you're still listening at this point, hit that subscribe button. Come and join the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. We do not chat rubbish. Our chat is all purposeful and about the Steelers, because Mark and I are true Steeler fans. We love our Pittsburgh Steelers. We know what we're talking about when it comes to our Pittsburgh Steelers, your Pittsburgh Steelers. Hit that subscribe button. Come and join the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate family. Here we go, Steelers.